When it comes to rehabbing from any sort of injury, one of the more common things that I see, especially early on, is that people are trying to use too much weight with whatever they're doing. Now, initially, the goal is to improve blood flow to whatever tissue is injured, as well as to improve movement mechanics. Now, in order to improve blood flow to an injured tissue, we have to use the muscle, but we have to do so in a pain-free manner. If you use a lot of weight, you will feel some discomfort or pain with that, meaning that we're stressing it too much, potentially causing more damage. If you stick with a lighter weight and then do a lot of reps with that, that's ideal for bringing blood flow into the muscle as it continues to work, meaning that that improved blood flow will then help it heal. But at the same time, we're not stressing it too much so that we're causing more damage. The other option is the movement mechanics. Say you can't do a squat without your knees coming together. If you try and do this squat with a lot of weight, what's going to happen is that you're going to cause even more issues. Not only are you putting your knees at greater jeopardy of being injured worse, you are also reinforcing that movement pattern in your brain every time you squat. So if you take away the weight that you're doing and then you try and squat without doing any sort of compensation, making sure you have something like a mirror for feedback or someone else or videoing yourself so you can see how it is you're squatting and then make adjustments as needed. Whereas if you did use too much weight, you're gonna show some sort of compensation. If it is the case of the knees coming together, more likely you'll just see more of that. Now, eventually, you will want to progress with how much weight you're moving. So in the case of the injured tissue, what you'll do is you'll very slowly progress after you've done the low weight, high reps for several weeks. The key here is that the motion has to stay pain-free. Eventually, if you're doing a small muscle like one of the rotator cuff muscles, what we'll see is that larger muscles will try and compensate, especially when you're doing heavy weights. So for example, if I'm doing what's called a sideline external rotation of my arm to strengthen the infraspinatus muscle, ideally I would stick with a somewhat light weight for this, even after I'm healed. The reason is if I use a weight that's too heavy, there is a lot of compensation from the deltoid and the shoulder blade in order to lift that weight. Whereas if you stick with a smaller weight, you can target the muscle you want specifically. Now, same case with learning a movement pattern. Eventually, you will want to add in small increments of more and more weight as your body becomes more, as it improves its ability to do that specific motion. Obviously, if you do start to see compensations, you bring the weight back down until you can do that weight without any sort of compensation. That way you are teaching the brain the correct way to move and then minimizing your risk of injury in the future.